Hey Tony, it's Thursday, and I just got home. It is also wet and absolutely miserable outside, but that doesn't really surprise anybody because you guys had the weather a couple days ago. It's pretty bad here today. Um, First off, to answer your question from last week, Tony, or sorry, for Tuesday, I do not know where that camera is. Taylor and we think it might actually be in Ohio still, because it's
Could
either.
also be in a box.
Yeah, it's either in Ohio or it's in a box here because we still have several boxes we haven't actually unpacked yet, even though we've been at this apartment for 2 years now. Oops.
We don't have room.
As you hear the peanut gallery in the back.
Maybe. It's debatable.
Basically, Taylor's just like saying we don't have room because we really don't. But today I worked and it was nice. As you know, I'm interning with Community Legal Aid and Housing Court this summer, and today was my first day back. Now, I worked there about every other week last summer, and I really enjoyed it. And so this summer, it's Gordon, who's my supervising attorney, actually wanted me to we set up an agreement that I'll be working for him on Thursdays and Fridays, which is going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. I actually have training tomorrow on what I did today because that makes sense. But I went through the training last year, and Gordon actually wants me in there more to audit him than anything else. But it's a good refresher anyway, because there were multiple things today that I know I had forgotten. There were a couple things that took me a little bit to get back into the groove of things. It's like I'd gone to housing court here and there over the past semester for the legal services clinic. Like I went there once and actually helped people out on a Thursday. And then on Fridays, I went to one clinic, and I also went to their public housing days. Though to kind of go into another legal-minded aspect, as you know, Dad had his questions with work, and what he ended up telling Mom that I found hilarious is he needed to consult with his two attorneys first, myself and Bob. So I got to kind of make the little joke that my first ever client was my dad, which was interesting because like I did everything that I would for a normal client. I did a bit of research, consulted with a couple other professionals to see what they thought about it. So it was kind of neat that Dad was a client basically. So him and I kind of jostled back and forth a little bit. Like I was saying, so where should I bill you? Because you know, and Taylor knows this as well. It's all billable hours. There's a joke with that. I'll tell you some other time. But it was interesting because like I did the research, went through everything. I didn't actually like look at how much time it took me because it only took me about an hour to do that, to research that for Dad. But it was kind of interesting. That being said, I've finally gotten all of my grades back, save for one, and that one grade is the most important grade that I need to know soon. The one grade I don't have yet is evidence. Now, the reason why evidence is so important is because as soon as you pass evidence, you can be what's called 303 certified. What that means, it's a fancy term for basically I can practice in front of a judge because I've gone through evidence, I know what to do, and as long as I have a supervising attorney who ends up signing off on it, I actually practice in front of a judge. And that's kind of important this summer because, well, I'm doing a lot of work in a courthouse, so I kind of want to get 303 certified just because that opens things up immensely. And I was talking to a couple of attorneys today. They were saying that there's no better experience than practicing in front of a judge. And I can only imagine that's true. Like I thought mock trial was a great experience because you were basically practicing in front of a judge. Now they weren't completely a judge, it was still all hypothetical, but it was still good. It was good experience. And to actually do a real case in front of a real judge with real consequences is going to be very, very different elsewhere. And I'm looking forward to that. That's the only grade I have to wait for. Everything else, I've gotten 2 passing grades in my mock trial and my legal services clinic, which I knew I was going to get pass grades anyway. But to make matters even better, I got a B+ in First Amendment and a B in professional responsibility and a B in a business organization. So it's been a very good semester for me. As far as it goes right now, especially if evidence turns into a B, that'll be my best semester thus far, which would be wonderful because I only have 1 year left, and that's kind of harrowing in a way. I have 1 year left, so I have to actually start planning for the bar. I'm about to no longer be a student. And that's really hard to wrap my head around because I have been going to school, with the exception of one semester, because I graduated Toledo a semester early. I've been going to school, let's do some math, 19 years straight as soon as I finish up this next year. That's 19 straight years of school. Like, that's a lot of time. Say an average person lives to be about 80, give or take, like between 75 and 80. And so by the time it's all said and done, I will spend roughly a quarter of my life in school. Which, when you put it that way, it's mind-bending, because you realize how much time you put into it, and how much time of your life you are never getting back, because I'm never getting that time back. But it doesn't really matter in the end, because I'm going to be an attorney, and that's what I've wanted to do since, I don't know, 7th grade. So that 20 years of schooling becomes almost like a badge in a way, because you've done something that many people haven't. Like, most people will only graduate with an undergraduate degree. You don't have a lot of people who go into your postgraduate degrees. And if I end up going back for like a doctorate at some point, if I want to teach, it's even more time of my life that I won't get back. But it's all really worth it in the end. So Tony, my question to you is, how is your work going? And is there any big things that you'll hopefully get soon through engineering? Well, Tony, I'll see you on Tuesday. Later, bro.